the Cornerstone Avenue Consulting Group.
Yes.
Is it more consulting or coaching?
It is not really either of those.
Perfect.
Yeah. We like to call ourselves facilitators. So we do a little bit of all of that. We do teaching and coming in and really coming alongside the doctors. And so really helping get, right alongside them and helping do the work with them. So there is some consulting in there, but we run and do research for them. We are providing HR consulting. We are, helping in a lot of different areas. And so a lot of it's teaching them some of these areas that they may not know a whole lot about. And so, we try to come into a lot of different areas and teach, consult, and do the work with them.
And do the heavy lifting.
Yes.
That's so cool. So your claim to fame is, there are two things. One is you're going to come in and actually do the work with them.
Yep.
With the practice. And the second one is operational, right?
Yes.
So what is operational excellence in your opinion?
Yeah. So a lot of that is streamlining it and making sure that everyone knows their role. And I think that can be really difficult in any organization because operations encompasses a lot. Mm-hmm. And so it's knowing exactly, who's doing what and, how do you ever improve? And when you kind of step back and look at any of that, it's a lot and it's very overwhelming for doctors to kind of know when they're wearing all the hats, what is, who's going to be taking care of what job, when, and what are they supposed to be doing? What are they supposed to give to their team members? And so you really want to make sure at every point that you are able to know what's happening. And I think that's a really big struggle for a lot of doctors.
Okay. So let's try to unpack that. Let's dive into that subject right away. So from roles and responsibilities, knowing who is in charge or responsible for what, how is it accomplished?
So a lot of it is clear expectations and defining duties. Okay. And I think a lot of that is when you are initially, opening a practice, taking things on, a lot of that rests on the doctor. And a lot of that doesn't happen. They kind of keep it all. And then, when they bring on that practice manager, they, roll things off to, their front office, those kind of things that it never is very clear, what the expectations are of their team. And so it's getting to that point of knowing, okay, this is what your role is, and this is where I am trusting you now to take that on.
Right.
And
let's unpack even that. So how is it done? Is it an Excel spreadsheet where you sit down and you just write down, all right, dental assistant, hygienist, office manager, front office, even doctor?
Yeah. So a lot of it comes down to SOPs and workflows.
Okay. SOP is?
Yeah. So standard operating procedures. Okay. Yeah. And so that right there is kind of your instruction manuals. And you don't need that for every, process that you have in your practice, but you want those for your important processes. And you want that to be, okay, who's doing that? When they're not doing it, who's going to be doing it? So when your office manager is out, who's going to be responsible for, handling, and overseeing the team? And, if you have a dental assistant that is doing the ordering, okay, now, and they're out, okay, who's going to be doing that? And those are what your SOPs are. And then you have your processes, and that's kind of the step-by-step, like, all right, this is where we go to put in the orders. This is where we go to make sure that they get submitted. This is where they get approved. And that's where the processes are. And so that's exactly where we want to, establish all of that and make sure that those are clearly defined and that the doctor knows what they are and the team knows what they are. And more often than not everyone knows. And we want those to be...
And most likely doctors have no clue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So again, what do you use for that? Like, is it like Google Docs or Trainual or...
So it really varies on the practice. And a lot of it, I think, is, it can be Word documents.
Okay.
It's really a matter of what makes sense for the practice. But, everyone has different budgets and different ways that they, use, work within their practice. So it's really a matter of like, how do you get in and out of your documents? What you want to make sure is that it's living documents. So you can create any kind of system, SOPs, processes, and they will immediately go down the drain if you don't have people that then are responsible for keeping them up.